Hello, this is Michael Goff with the Troopers Drum Bugle Corps. I'm the executive director of the organization, and I am so pleased to have everybody here. We appreciate you hanging in there. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties starting up, but we are off and running, and tonight is going to be a fabulous night of entertainment. We're going to have all kinds of videos we're going to be watching a little bit through. We're going to have some conversations with some of the design and some of the, just talking about the stories that got us here over the last few years. And then, of course, the main event is the debut of the 2025 Troopers program, the Final Sunset. So we're very glad to have all you here. Thanks to all the East Coast people that are hanging out late with us tonight. We are here at Fossil Ridge High School in Fort Collins, Colorado, and tomorrow night we are very excited to debut competitively at Drums Along the Rockies. Be sure to get your tickets. I believe the website is ascendperformingarts.org. Make sure you go and get those tickets tonight and check us out tomorrow in our first competitive event. Earlier this week, we opened up the voting to get everybody's opinion on what is your favorite top 5 Troopers show. And we ranked those votes and we put some videos together, and we are going to do that countdown, and it's very exciting to see. We've had a wide range of people voting. We've seen a lot of different years, but up next is the results of your fan vote. Let's check it out.
Hallelujah. From Bon Jovi. You want to set your phone?
first time in 13 years. From Casper, Wyoming, the Troopers. Drum majors Aaron O'Barr, Brian Pott, Cole Peterson, and Tobin Brooks. Is your corps ready? Performing their 2022 program, Voracious. Drum Corps International is proud to present the Troopers. under the direction of Michael Goff, from Casper, Wyoming, the Troopers.
The Troopers organization would like to thank all of our sponsors for their dedication to the marching arts and the Troopers marching programs. Their support and continued commitment to our mission is what makes dreams come true.
So this is very exciting. It's so fun to look back on the history of the Troopers, and it's so fun to engage with you, the fans, to decide what are those top shows. I mean, we're coming up on 70 years not too long from now, and there's a lot to choose from. What's been really exciting watching that vote was seeing how many of those favorites were just in the most recent years. I'm here with CEO of the Troopers, Mike Ottos, and he has been here for many years. He's been the CEO actually since 2006. And has seen all of the ups and downs and the resurgence that we're here now. It's absolutely amazing. I'm also here with Mary Durkop. Mary started in 21 with us as the brass caption head and was just so impressive that we decided to, I guess we could say, demote you to corps director, and I took a demotion to executive director.
Right.
So it's been a wild ride. Just, I guess, you know, thinking back on these last few years, I mean, Mike, you've really gone through it all. What does it feel like to see the Troopers where they are today?
Well, it's amazing. We think through the years of the ups and downs and the challenges, and every year it seems like you have something that can derail you or cause you to have a lot of stress, and we always seem to overcome it. And obviously one of the big things that affected us all was the pandemic. And of course, Drum Corps as a whole shut down that year. And we all were unsure of the future. Would Drum Corps even exist? Would the Troopers exist? Would any of that ever come around again? And for me, all these years, I have many, many proud moments and many, many years where I've just been amazed at what we do. But for me, 21 is one of the years that I'm most proud of. I think it took us a lot of courage and a lot of effort to make that happen. We overcame such massive obstacles, and for the members to come in and have faith that we were going to take care of them and that things were going to go well, and we went out and we did it. We overcame immense challenges and we took care of everybody and we did it. And out of all these years that I've been doing that is one of my most proud years. Absolutely. Where we were able to do that. And you know, you guys were such a obviously huge part of that, and it wouldn't happen without you guys, of course. And it's just a wonderful memory.
One thing Mike fails to tell you is that even in these recent years, his daughters have actually marched in the Corps.
Yes.
And so we have this, you know, Michelle and you met in the Troopers.
Right.
Now both of your kids have marched. Your daughter is here tonight with the color guard.
Yep.
What is it? Is it a mix of jealousy that they've been in finals and you didn't get to do it? I mean, what's that been like?
Definitely not jealousy. No, absolutely. Obviously, I'm incredibly proud of them. And, you know, to be able to share these years with them, especially, you know, Allison started in 21 and aged out in 22. And Emily started in 22 and now she's aging out this year. To be able to share that with them is amazing. It's hard to put into words and to describe, and of course to see them perform in these epic shows the past few years, I couldn't ask for more and I couldn't be any more proud. It's an amazing thing for me.
Mary, you have gone on a roller coaster. You came here in 21, which was that pivotal year that Mike was just describing. When you came here as brass caption head, did you, what did you think when you first came in? I mean, I think we came in the middle of a storm and none of us had ever met in person before.
Yeah, well, and honestly, when I first came in, I didn't even want to come in as caption head. I was like, are you sure? I like being a tuba tech, but there was a lot of help along the way, and it was an incredible year. The 21 year was super special because it allowed me to bring in my brass staff and try something without the pressure of being judged and having scores, and so we could truly just enjoy the summer and perform our hearts out and do it for our audiences and for the performance quality, which is something that we still do to this day. I think that's a very important part of how we put shows together and how we perform the shows. So I didn't really know what I was getting into, but it was a lot of fun, and growing the brass line and the brass program for 21, 22, and 23 was also a very important and pivotal part of my life. And a lot of the team is still here today, which I love to see. Like, I know that I worked with so many of those people, so it's very cool to see them.
So there was this great moment where I approached Mary one morning when we were in Tipton, Indiana 2 years ago. And I said, Mary, have you ever thought about being corps director? I want to tell you about some ideas I have. And you kind of looked sideways at me, but here you are 2 years going into your second year, the training wheels are off.
Yep.
What are you most excited about as corps director going into the 2025 season?
I'm really excited for all the changes that we've made. It took me a year to kind of get through things and kind of slosh through the mud a little bit and figure things out, and we made a lot of positive changes for really the whole drum corps. Talking about taking care of our staff, taking care of our members, making sure we have enough admin support, and that's been really, really exciting to see those changes have a positive impact on what we do. And I can't believe that we're hitting the road tomorrow.
That's unbelievable.
I don't
The
know how that
fastest spring
happens.
training in history, it seems.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Actually, it was, I think, one of the longest ones we've ever had, but it
It
feels like the
was.
shortest in a
We
lot
just
of
went
ways.
very fast.
Went by in a
So
flash.
if anybody's interested in driving, please call.
Yeah. Always need help.
So yeah, the last few years have just been this incredible journey, and a few weeks ago we were fortunate to have a really great auditorium, and we were able to show the membership our History Night documentary. We had a lot of alumni come in and tell all their old war stories. It was really fantastic. And then we show this hour-long documentary. In the last 20 minutes of the documentary, it picks up at the pandemic and goes all the way up until basically this moment. And we're excited to share with you tonight that segment of time that we were just kind of discussing here, so that you can kind of feel that energy as we get ready for this very special debut. So take a look at the tail end of the Troopers History Night and enjoy.
It's hard to imagine this is how 2020 started. But across the world, dozens were falling ill with a mysterious virus that would ultimately change life as we know it.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
The White House Coronavirus Task Force tells people to avoid bars, restaurants, and groups of more than 10 people. States soon start closing schools and announcing stay-at-home orders.
Stay at home.
Stay home, stay safe.
Quite simply, stay at home.
Gentlemen, some wonderful accomplishments, some wonderful levels. Good for you. I hope this has been just a marvelous experience for you, and I truly do wish you all and only the very, very best. Good luck.
The world has looked upon the American West as a land of opportunity, a land of courageous people striving for a new kind of freedom. The troopers, in name and appearance, are what America was. The young men and women under the trooper banner are what America is.
Mike Goff here. The Troopers are going on tour this summer, and you're coming with us. Brand new horns, battery, pit equipment. How about new corps jackets? Wearing it. Cowboy hats?
You better believe it. Show us your best and send in a free video audition right away and get yourself on the fast track to adventure. It's 2021, and it's time to get off the couch and get back to life. MarchTroopers.com.
I don't know how it happened. It just appeared. It was one of those great sort of tricks of drum corps. They had someone in the classic uniform appear and sort of dramatically walk slowly toward the, to the
drum major,
yeah, that was awesome. I was like, yes, let's go.
No doubt that the Troopers made a statement.
Well, I think any drum corps, first of all, that made it out this year, good for them. But to come out with brand new uniform, brand new show, but to come out with, with all the negatives and to still come out with a show like that.
Just overall great show, audience favorite. Their first impact, I literally jumped back in my seat. It was amazing. First goosebumps moment of the night for sure.
Of course, all the corps are great and they all had great performances, but that was the first sort of, this is the, drum corps' final night sound.
Here we stood at this gate with a mission. Here we stand again. Together. When we come, we do it together. We will rise or we will fall together with pride. scores and competition are fleeting. But the memories that you will generate here and now will last a lifetime. What you do today will determine who you are as a person going forward. Make it a good one. Let's go drill some oil, yeah? Yeah!
From Casper, Wyoming, the Troopers.
This is a time for choosing right here, right now. Bad attitudes will lead down one path, where we abandon everything that we have fought for. Bad attitudes lead one way, and being badass leads another. You have to choose in this moment now what you're going to be. You cannot know greatness without struggle. You can't know happiness without sadness. You cannot know victory without defeat. That's the story of the Troopers. That's the story of you right here, right now. It's not over until the horns come down and we march out that gate on the other side. Your destiny will be written between this yard line and the next. Your place in history between this gate and the next. Are you ready to make history, Troopers? Yes! Can I get a troop? Troop! Can I get a son? Son!
I've seen it happen over and over again. This is your opportunity. Not to just be part of the long blue line, but to change it forever. This is it. There are many people in the crowd, we've talked about this a lot, that want to be where you are. They wish they could have had a show like this. They wish they could have been in a Troopers like this. Your job tonight is to make them proud and make them want it more.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. Only time he feels satisfied is when he's on the road.
Give me a troop! Give me a troop! What are we gonna give them?
Back to hell. we share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, a trooper to the end. You'll find me in the long blue line for now and evermore. I'm proud to be a trooper. I'm proud that it's my core. We are one.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for the journey. I love you all so much.
We share a dream and sing with one voice.
Keep pushing, even though it may seem like the world is ending when you don't get, more than 3 hours of sleep time and whatnot, or maybe the water is hot and yellow. It's not going to be the end of the world, and you're going to get to Lucas Oil or whatever field that might be at the end of the season, or you might be getting your age out pin, and you're just only going to want to go back in time and relive every single dreadful moment, because as soon as you're complaining, it's ending. So just live through the moments and take it all in.
To the end.
As you can see, it's been an amazing journey getting from that moment till here. For me, it was kind of an incredible moment to be kind of handed this baton to become corps director and move up and help shape the future, of course, with all the things that Mike Ottos did. But I think it's important that we recognize another individual that did a lot for this organization. Back in November, we were sad to learn of the passing of legendary and iconic Troopers Corps director Fred Morris. And it hit us all very hard because we have so many memories that are baked into the just the development of the Troopers, especially in those mid-2000s from 07, 06, 07, all the way through really almost up until the pandemic there. Mike, you hired the man. You were there at the very beginning, and boy, when I go back and think about the documentaries that we produced back when Fred first started and how passionate he was and emotional he was to lead this corps, and obviously his character, his iconic hat, everybody knew Fred, and he really represented us so well. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to work with him.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. In the beginning, we were going through some challenges back in the 05, 06 era, and I knew that we needed a strong director to come in and handle the day-to-day grind and the day-to-day work. And I was looking and trying to figure out who that might be. And Fred Morris's name kept coming up to me. There were people would tell me about him and how he had a connection to the Corps, and he had worked with Ted Gilbert in merch a little bit. And I said, well, okay, I'd love to talk to him. And we, exchanged some phone calls, and I said, I'd love to meet you. Can we get together sometime? And so we went out to WGI in Dayton, Ohio, and met, and we sat there. And in the documentary, you talked about how we talked for a long time, and the vision we had for the Corps and how we wanted it to go. And I felt at that moment that he was the guy that we needed at that time. And it certainly turned out that he was. He had all the, like you said, all the passion that we needed. He had the connections that we needed, with his history with the Bluecoats and the activity in general. He was very well respected. And he came in and he really injected what we needed at that point in time. He embraced the Troopers with his whole heart and his whole soul. And those of you that got to work with him and the members that got to march under him understood that he really had a special place in his heart for this drum corps. And what he was able to do in such a short amount of time was really remarkable. And you know, when we made finals in 09, that had started in 06.
He was director of the year that year.
He was director of the year that year, rightfully so. You know, that was an amazing turnaround that he helped orchestrate. And you know, one of the things that Fred, wonderful things about Fred is he, you know, he'd put on this tough demeanor, right? and he would be the trooper director, you know, and the tough guy out there, and then underneath he had the heart of gold. Right. He loved the kids with all his heart, and he gave all he had to this organization. And to lose him was a shock to, like you said, it was a shock to all of us. And he will live, you know, as an integral part of this organization's history forever. Yeah. And we have so much respect for him and love for him, and we will miss him immensely.
One of my favorite memories, you know, in recent years, because he always came out to finals. Yeah. We always spotted him at different parts of the country, and he'd always show up and root the Corps on. And one of my favorite memories was in 2022 when we had just made it back into finals again after 13 years. And he was the first guy to stand up at the Sunburst. And I just remember watching that audience and seeing Fred stand up, and I knew at that moment that we had really, I think, done him right, you know, done right by him. And
he was
came
proud.
down, you know, he came down the escalator after we were done, and we, you know, shook hands. And he was just an amazing man, and we definitely miss him. We're going to take a moment, and we're just going to take a little look at his time here with this tribute video of Fred Morris, former Corps Director of the Troopers.
Well, this is it. The day you've been working for. Everybody focused in? Yes. Need 10 minutes and 43 seconds of your life right now. Okay? 10 minutes and 43 seconds. That's all we need of it. Give it everything you've got. Don't come out and say, man, I wish I woulda. Come out and say, we did it. Proud of you guys. Go out and throw one, man. This is it. This is where it counts. This is the one show we've been playing for all season. Okay? This is it. It's in your hands. Very, very capable hands. Very capable hands. These people were on their feet waving our yellow rally flags, and I knew the kids were going to do a great show. And they did. They just unbelievable show. And I was like just numb from that point on. They just blew me away. Just blew me away with the performance. So sorry I get wrapped up in this stuff big time. You gotta be here every day to see what happens. Because every day it's amazing what they do. And they come off the field and it's like no big deal. They want the next day and do it all over again. Sorry. They're kids, and you don't. They don't have all the life's experiences yet. They're pure and simple. And I think that's basic with all kids. We all start out as kids. And we got to grow up somewhere. It's in a bad activity to grow up in. I think they're true to themselves, they're true to each other. I think that's just a basic human principle. Just take care of human beings. They do a pretty good job.
Well, once again, you know, thanks to Fred Morris for everything that he did for the organization. It is truly from the heart. Tim, I know that you've been here, worked all the way back in 2013. Is there any great memories you have of Fred?
I remember the first time I ever met Fred. He's about 6'3", 6'4", I think. I'm not really for sure, but he's taller than me. And I remember I met him at a McDonald's with Donnie Van Doren in Columbus, Indiana, and he poured himself out of a small Jaguar. And we had no clue how he got out of the thing, and we had no clue how he got in. We just stood there and watched him get out and watched him slink back into this Jaguar. It was the coolest thing ever. He was the coolest guy ever. And my Lord, did we butt heads. It was unbelievable how much we butted heads. I can remember, this might be kind of funny, or I don't know if he probably wouldn't want me to share this, but there was one time we were having some issues with some costuming, and we needed an adjustment or something, and the costume company came up, and Fred wasn't on the road, and the costume company came up and said, "Hey, will you give us a costume and we'll work on it?" And I was like, "Sure." Sure. I didn't know what to do. I'm just a lowly brass caption head, and I called the program coordinator and said, "Hey, they're asking for a uniform. What do you want me to do?" He's like, "Give them a uniform. They asked for it. Give it to them." I said, "Okay." So I hand them a uniform. The next day, we're in Iowa somewhere, and Fred Morris calls me, and I had the voicemail for years, and it was F this, and you can't do this, and you need to call me, and all this. Like, he's reading me up one side down the other. And I called him and I said, "Fred, what is so upsetting that I did that?" And he's like, "Oh, I had the wrong person. I'm sorry about that. I had the wrong person. I didn't mean to really do it." And I was like, "But you were talking about the uniform." He's like, "I didn't mean it." So we butted heads a lot, but my Lord, I loved him. And it was so nice the first year that we got back and we did the pandemic, the COVID year pandemic stuff, and he was there, and he was standing in the stands, and I could always, and I'm going to miss him coming off the field, because he would always stand up, and you would see him, everybody would start to sit down, and you're on your way out, and
he wouldn't sit down.
He wouldn't sit down, and he would stand there, and he would come up to me, and he'd give me a hug, and he'd have tears in his eyes, and he just loved the Troopers. And everybody, not me, but everybody has their issues every once in a while. And, he literally brought all kinds of energy and love for the organization. He moved to Casper. Who wants to do that? And he did it.
Yeah,
so
I know the feeling.
So I did love the man. It was great to see his son Jeff. I happened to be in Casper very shortly after he passed. I think it was that day, and we were able to go to his apartment, and I was able to hug his girlfriend and hug his sons, and it was very nice to see them. And it really is touching to see all the people that love Fred.
Yep,
so
absolutely. Well, I'm here with obviously Tim Snyder, program coordinator for the Troopers, also the man behind the scenes at Box 5 Media, who's helping to get this live stream off of the ground. And next to me here is Chris McCarthy, who is our guard design guru, and really one of the driving forces, along with Chelsea, in building this new age color guard for the Troopers. For the first time in the history of the Corps, I think we even have alternates in the color guard. We have never been in the position with the color guard that we are this year. What did you do? What is the magic for making the color guard just so extraordinary this year?
Well, last year, this is my second year of the program. Last year, when I was invited to come on board, one of the biggest things we wanted to do is make sure we create a culture and an environment that we would love all the performers to thrive and succeed at what they're asked. And we have a great design staff, great choreographers, great guard instructors to make that all happen. And I think just through all the excitement, we had some great turnout numbers for auditions. We've just been building and building, and it's been so exciting to see. So it's really just creating a great culture and a package of choreography and excitement that the members want to have. So it's been really exciting to do.
Tim, what's that been like to watch? I mean, we've been building this thing since we got here. And what is it like to finally see the fruits of these labors, finally like starting to bloom?
It's amazing. I'm so appreciative of Chris and Chelsea and the whole team and Casey and all that. And it's really amazing. I stood outside at a camp. It was this winter, I think it was, and I was standing outside the gym and I was watching the guard, and it was amazing to see all the kids in there. We talk about we have 4 alternates. That's great. All 4 of them could be in the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're actually working to get them in the show. And that's how much talent is here. That's how much the team has worked hard to recruit. It's amazing because as the people that are much older than me know, the Troopers Color Guard was the color guard in the activity many years ago. Mm-hmm. And we want to see that happen again. And the organization has invested in the color guard. We have offered scholarships to kids that march in Winter Guard. We have offered many things, incentives for color guard to be here. We want this to be a color guard friendly place. And we hired a drill designer, Andy Ebert, who really focused on the color guard. It was color guard first.
Fantastic staging in general.
Yeah, and I think we really are showing we want this color guard to be great, and that's what it's going to take. And it's already starting to show up. And it took us a while. It took us a while to get some traction, but now that we have traction, Katie bar the door because they're coming.
That's right. So what can audiences tonight expect to see? What should they be looking for in this program tonight? Without giving it all away, what can we kind of expect tonight?
Well, I think, when Tim after coming back, I know has created this journey for this trooper, and we're going to see that kind of culmination happen tonight. And I think through the imagery of the props, the flags, we even have some fences and crates on the field, just creating an awesome environment to see this journey of this trooper and what he's done and all the things he's done. And I think you're gonna see a lot of really cool things in the show and a lot of imagery that's supposed to be reminiscent of Casper, especially. But Tim has some more stuff behind his. But I think the setup in general, the scenery, the aesthetics have created a great place for our trooper to be shown what the journey's been like.
Right. One of the things I keep hearing from everybody is that this is it feels like a more matured Troopers. Yeah. It's almost like, wow, we've taken a leap somehow. What is that? Is that what we're going to see tonight? Is a little bit more mature?
Yeah, I think the membership is stronger. Every section has stronger talent. Every section has older kids. If they're younger, they're even better than what they have been before. And it's just what you're going to see is just an intense group of kids that are just going after it, and they are challenged. The second movement tonight has more notes than we've played in all of the last 70 years combined, it seems like. Mm-hmm. In terms of the brass.
I said the brass has more notes than the snare line for the first time.
It's probably pretty accurate in some places. But, you're going to see a lot of things. We are challenging the members in every way. We're over 200 beats a minute several times in the program. We wanted to really, when we challenged them, we wanted to put them in a position where you saw a lot of drill. There's a faction out there that want to stage and all this kind of stuff. We have the staging part, but we also have the run and gun 200 beat a minute drill, and so you're going to see that. You're going to see a complete program. With the wind tonight, we won't have the props in place, the fabrics and that. It's a little windy, but you will see the stage and get an idea of that. It's going to be a pretty interesting thing. What I think is interesting is we've gone down this road for a few years now, and everybody expects us to be dark and edgy and aggressive. When you listen and watch, it's opposite now. It's we wanted to be different. We wanted to make it something special and something unexpected. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see people online talk about, it's the same. If it's the same old thing, it's this or that. Well, it's not the same old thing. It is different. It is very different. So I hope people see that, and I hope people enjoy that. My phone's going crazy. I apologize about that.
So we got something going. So Tim's a very busy man behind the scenes of this whole operation with the live stream. So we're going to let everybody, and Chris get back to the color guard. Last thing I kind of want to say, just a little announcement here. We are going to hold the show by 10 minutes. There's a lot of people that, turns out Santa Clara Vanguard is also doing their live stream at the exact same time. So we're going to allow those audiences to finish that and then migrate over and hopefully catch the troopers as well. So we're just going to kind of stall the event a little bit so that we can make sure everybody gets an opportunity. If you guys need to get back to where you're going, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what it takes financially. So Tim, you go get back behind the camera, make sure I look good. Okay. The fact of the matter is that this takes an enormous amount of money, as you can imagine, to pull this level of drum corps off. And if you're watching on our website, you can see right below here in the video window, you should be able to see some buttons. There's a sponsor a meal button, and there's also just a general donation button. Sponsor a meal is a fabulous way to know exactly where your money goes. We actually do 800 meals, over 800 meals per day all summer long. We have an industrial kitchen on a semi-trailer, and our food team works incredibly hard. But the budget, you can imagine, for feeding that many people is way, it's close to $140,000. And so we rely, our structure, obviously, it's a tuition-based, it's a nonprofit, but that only covers, a tenth of what it actually costs the drum corps. Our community, our fans, our alumni, everybody is a part of the story of the success of the troopers. And without you, we cannot feed the members. We cannot pay for the housing when we need to. We can't pay for the buses that they need in order to be safely transported down the road. So your donations are tax deductible since we are a nonprofit. And anything that you could give tonight will make an incredible difference as we start to take our first steps on this tour. So please, if you got a moment, click one of those buttons. Sponsor a meal, you know exactly where that money's going. A general donation goes a long way, and we can assign that where we know we need it. But anything you can do would be great. On that front, I also want you to mark your calendars for July 16th, a very important day for fundraising for the troopers, our largest fundraiser, which is YO Gives, on July 16th. It is a statewide fundraiser for nonprofits across the state of Wyoming. Last year was actually our #1 fundraiser. What's beautiful about it is if we meet certain thresholds, a lot of matches come in through corporate donations and other things. So mark your calendar for that date. We'll have stuff all over our social media regarding that opportunity. It's a great way to make a major impact with your donations on that day. July 16th is YO Gives. Later this summer, we will be doing a new version of the Rocky Mountain Rivalry fundraiser that we've all come to know over the years. Traditionally, it's a fun fundraising rivalry between the Troopers, the Blue Knights, and the Mandarins. This year, because of the layout of scheduling and Fort Collins being on first, we are actually moving the rivalry to lead into the week going into Allentown. We are also expanding it, and I can announce that there's going to be 8 drum corps involved with the rivalry this year. So we are spanning, it's going to be a West versus East model, and so the West groups are going to come together in an alliance to go against the East corps, and we're going to go head-to-head and spend a couple weeks there trying to see who which region of the country is going to be the dominant force in fundraising. So with that, I'm going to defer to Tim here. Tim, I need an out for a few minutes. Is there any videos that we could play, any commercials or anything, or Troop Store or the Round Table? That would be great. Let me know when we're off.
Check. I'm on Do Not Disturb. I'm always on silent.
All right.
Don't talk to me. And leading to us, the 2025 Troopers. Right? So, Tim, what was in your head when we went to picking what the show was?
Well, for me, what was in my head was I'm tired of seeing the trooper in the show. So, truthfully, we've always had the trooper at the end of the show for the last 4 years, and it's like, can we put this to bed at some point? So the question that I ask myself is, how do you kill the trooper? And how do you do it in such a way that it pays homage to all of the troopers, but yet sets us up to move to the next chapter? And that's kind of where it all came from.
I was gonna say, a cool thing for me that was coming in, I got hired after the show was picked, so I kind of had a different perspective on it, which I think has been cool. As far as me, it's this classic tale of the hero's last ride. You know what I mean? So I think that's been fun. I think it's been good with us working together on your perspective of the concept and mine kind of meeting. And I think it's made it a really cool genesis of ideas.
Yeah, I've been very pleased with the design team all the way around. I mean, everybody's done a really good job at making this really work. And, it's hard. This show is really difficult to, come up with all the ideas. But on top of that, how do you present that to somebody? How do you show them that this person, this character that we've grown to love for 4 years, this person is now going away? So to speak. I mean, they're not going away. The troopers aren't going anywhere. But how do we do this? And how do we convey that? And and what's cool is all the ideas that have been bounced around since Vegas. When we all got together, and all those ideas. I mean, it really does show it. And we're not even done, and you can still see the story already.
Absolutely. Well, I think the music for me is like really the driving force behind the emotion in the show. The staging too, of course, but but I think that the music is so easy to connect with. How did you arrive like what you guys wanted to play this year?
Well, the show itself, like all the last 4 shows, there's been, when we first got here, I really wanted to do Knocking on Heaven's Door. I thought that was a really cool tune. And it goes all the way back to Lauren and I sitting in the back of the bus commiserating about what this drum corps could be. And we were nobody then. I was a brass caption head. Lauren was a percussion caption head. And we're like, yeah, we can do this. And everybody said, no, we're not doing that. But we came up with that. And the first year we did that. So we had all these ideas and things, and we've just institute them. So it's been a single tune, and this year's tune was and then the second tune that I picked in my mind was Mahler's Resurrection, and that fit. So I had the back end of the show musically, and then I had to figure out the rest of the show, and I kind of knew that I wanted to do the ballad that we're doing, which is Many Mothers, but I didn't quite know. There was a couple tunes, and I forget what the other tune was, but we went back and forth a little bit.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but we settled on this, and it's the right choice.
So I think it was really once we picked the second tune, the opener, then we're like, oh, totally, that's the third, that's the right ballad.
Absolutely.
After that gets finishes.
And I can't remember what that was. It's terrible to forget that.
I think one of the original ideas we talked about was Wish You Were Here. That was the original.
We did talk. That was Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
And then nobody could figure out how to make that work.
Right. But I think we landed on the right choice for sure.
Yeah. Many Mothers is beautiful. Yeah. We just finished it tonight. It's complete. It's ready to be seen.
It's totally done. Yeah. Locked in. I think the music really drives the emotion behind the Troopers' journey, its life, the Troopers' life, and where it was and where it went, and all the memories. Can you talk a little about how some of those tunes relate to the emotions and what the Troopers' feeling over time?
Yeah, honestly, this might be sharing a little too much, but all the shows have kind of mirrored my personality and where I'm at in that current stage of life. And this one really does. I said it to the drum majors the other day. I'm 51. I'm an anomaly in the activity. There's very few people like me that are here all the time at my age, and I'm not old by any stretch, but I'm,
age is but a number.
Yeah. So, but I kind of feel the same thing, and it's. Yeah, you watch Maverick, the movie Maverick, and in those scenes where the young fighter pilots, they can't get through the thing that they're trying to do, and yet here comes Tom Cruise and the old guy and does it the old way, and it works, and
knew what it could mean.
And yeah,
right.
And that's really all it is, and all of these things all these shows have been very personal to me, and so that's the mirror of it. Now the specific of this show is that we start off, it's kind of present day, funeral for a friend. He knows that the end is close. He knows that. And then the next tune just is the viralness, I guess, is, if that's the right word, of the guy just tearing across the desert on their horse, and just the youth and the power and presence of that person. And then we get to the ballad. We're back to present day, and he can't come to terms with it's over. He just doesn't have it anymore. He's still the hero. You still want to talk to him, and then we go back to the gunfight right after that. Original music by Justin Shelton and Paul Rennick and Sandy Rennick, and then you see him in his element. He remembers that, and then we have the death at Mahler's resurrection, and we finally put our hero to rest. So that's kind of the genesis and the overarch, I guess, the arc of the story. But I really do feel like it mirrors my own life, kind of.
What I just love, it's so relatable beyond that too. Like some of my favorite movies, Logan. It's the same, even though it's not it's, that's the same thing. It's the same thing. Endgame, with Iron Man, True Grit, and not quite as literal, but basically it's the same storyline. And I think it's just so universal. And anytime a drum corps can take a great story, customize it to their identity, and make it relatable, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I mean, you made me watch Logan. I had never seen it. I had not seen it, and Andy's like, "You got to watch Logan. It's really good."
It's the show.
It is its own version. Yeah, it is.
That it's that.
Yeah.
I just think of the movie Wolverine.
I
haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Chris.
I'll watch it right after this.
You need to.
I'm renting it tonight.
You need to leave.
Deadpool kind of ruined it a little bit.
Welcome back, Trooper fans. Standing next to me is a uniform on either side that you might recognize from our past. I'm pleased to announce that we have 2 drum majors this year. Both will be wearing these uniforms all summer long at every show. And it also marks a pretty exciting moment in Troopers history. Vito is wearing the black traditional uniform with the pants and everything, which makes her the first female drum major in this outfit in the traditional classic sense. Thank you to Fruhoff for being able to supply these at kind of a last minute. We just got them in. We got all the the accessories going. Let's just start off by saying, what is it like to be wearing this uniform?
Good.
I mean, it's really amazing, because this is the uniform, at least when I always thought of a drum major, I saw this uniform. When I saw the past videos, this is the uniform I saw. So to finally wear it, it really makes me feel like part of that Troopers history, and just, it's amazing. It's really, really powerful to be able to wear this all season and to embody the Trooper. I think that's what this at least represents to me, to wear it.
So Simon, you came on board last year with the Troopers as one of the drum major conductors. Obviously, we weren't kind of in the show sense, in those uniforms. What was it like going from last year and kind of being that rookie for you, and going into your second year and stepping that up?
I mean, it was quite. It was very different, It was getting adjusted to all the new things I had to do, and realizing, okay, last year I was inexperienced. I was learning. It was the learning period of my life, to learn from Tarek, the drum major from last year, to learn from all that staff, to do a very different show than is this show, and now to step into this position, especially with Vito, it's really nice. It's been very refreshing, and it's really like a landmark for me to be like, I did it. I'm now a drum major of the Troopers, and it's really fulfilling for me.
Right. So Vito, you started back in 2022 in that legendary show that was voted #1, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but it was voted #1, and we played the whole thing earlier tonight on the live stream. That was your rookie year on Mellophone. What was it like coming into the Troopers then, and how has it evolved to this moment?
I did not know what drum corps was at my first drum corps camp, so it was very much thrown into the deep end of the pool. And that Sunday at my first camp, I got the audition, and I was like, okay, I dig the cowboy hats. I'm gonna stick with this. And I found the home, and all the staff that have been here since 22 have pretty much raised me an equal amount that my parents have at this point. I would not.
It's made me even grayer and balder, as you can see.
It has changed me in ways that I couldn't imagine. It has made me grow as a person, and as a musician, and as a family member, and as an older sister, and as a daughter. And like, it's just an incredible experience to be able to have that young growing up in a drum corps setting, if that makes sense.
So then you became drum major.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when you found out you were going to move on up?
I didn't think it was going to happen. I was wishful thinking, and it was hard to process at first. Like, it didn't fully register when I was first told. And I went home after that camp, I think it was in January, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is what I've been wanting to do since I watched Aaron O'Barr perform finals night.
Right. And so tonight, now in this uniform. Yeah. In the pants.
Yeah.
Tell me what that feels like.
Incredible. I got incredibly emotional when I first put the uniform on, and that's cheesy, but it was like a big moment for me, because as a woman in the horn line, it's obviously a very small percentage of us, and to step up into this role that has never been done before is an incredible honor for me to have.
Right. And just to be clear, we have had the female drum majors in the past, but in this look, man, I think everybody wanted this to happen with Savannah Light back in 2019, and then we switched to those other uniforms that happened. And so I think this is like the culmination, to have these outfits back on the field. I myself, as a former drum major, know exactly like the feelings and the nerves that you must have right now. To put on that uniform, it is a special and unique feeling. One day, you'll have your retired drum major outfit that looks something like this. I did slim it down by putting the black on tonight, so I get it. Cool. You guys have anything you want to tell to audiences and what they might expect out of tonight's show? What should they be looking for?
An amazing show. It's really quite incredible what this drum corps has done. And it's something I tell the members. They come up to me and they're like, wow, I'm so glad you're my drum major or whatever. And I'll go, no, it's my honor. It's my honor to conduct such an amazing horn line, to be able to watch a percussion play so cleanly, and to just see the color guard performers. And so you guys are in for a really good treat tonight, and this entire season. You guys are going to be blown away.
Yeah. Watch it, and then watch it again, and watch something else, and then watch it again, and then watch another person.
And come see us live tomorrow night.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're in Colorado, we will be on at what time?
8:03.
8:03. All right, guys, go ahead and de-mic, and then head on over to the podium, and let's get ready to start this thing.
Let's do it.
Have a great run. All right, guys, go get those microphones off real quick, and then we'll get ready for the show. All right, so we are moments away. Tim, why don't you tell me how much time do we have before we're able to go on to the show?
I would say we could go on in 5 minutes.
All right, so now they want me to tell jokes for 5 minutes. So now I'm going to pull out my script. Here we go. It's a little unprofessional, but here we go. We're going to see what we can do for 5 minutes. Tim's going to a video.
She lying.
I do not. It's caramel.
It's caramel, and I think that everyone who says caramel is doing too much. I don't care if they're two different things. It's caramel. It's easier. It's less syllables.
It's caramel.
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 It's caramel. Any other opinion is wrong.
No, he's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's right. It's caramel. No, it's wrong.
Caramel.
It's caramel.
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 Caramel, bro.
No, I already said it, but just to reiterate, caramel.
Caramel.
It's caramel. C-A-R-A-M-E-L. That's how it's spelled. Caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel and caramel. Caramel, but they're also different things. Caramel is like molasses, and caramel is more like the syrup.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in tonight, and you can of course replay this video if you've missed any of it. And please tell your friends, check it out, come see us tomorrow night. Now we are going to turn to the field, and we are going to present the epic conclusion of the trilogy, as some call it, and let's witness the first ever final sunset.
All right, Trooper fans, the moment has come that you've been waiting for. Please give a warm welcome to the pride of Wyoming, from Casper, Wyoming, the Troopers! Is the crowd ready? Drum makers, Simon Beltran, Vittoria Pagliardini, Ritika De Vasagamani, Suzanne Wilkinson, and Addison Wood. Is your corps ready? Performing their 2025 production, The Final Sunset, Drum Corps International is proud to present the Casper Troopers. Wyoming.
Holy smokes, folks. I mean, the culmination of this hard work for the last 34 days has just built into an amazing roaring standing ovation here live. I think they delivered tonight, and we are so excited to perform again tomorrow at the Drums Along the Rockies first competitive events here in the Fort Collins area. Be sure to get your tickets at ascendperformingarts.org and make sure you get down there and see this live. You don't want to miss it. The Corps now is going to play an encore piece, Battle Hymn of the Republic. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I think we are all just absolutely blown away by this spectacular performance. Heck, the announcer just said that. Give him a round of applause for wherever you are tonight. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Please, before you go to bed tonight, from the deepest of my heart, I am asking you to please go sponsor a meal or just give a little bit of a general donation, and that'll make an enormous difference for this organization so that we can continue to deliver on this message and we can continue to invest in a quality troopers that'll make everybody proud for another decade to come. Thank you so much for being a part of our lives, and thank you so much for loving the troopers, for loving this activity, for loving these kids. We can't do this without you, and you are a part of this. You helped build this. Please help us continue this. Thank you, and good night.
Remember, you can sponsor a meal.